Honorable Speaker, I rise today on a matter critically important to all members of this House, indeed to all Manitobans. As the session begins, we find ourselves returning to the chamber during a deeply troubling time, a time when the rules of political civility, of open and free public discourse, the very rules that have governed us for decades, are being swept aside by anger, fear, and isolation. And the resulting political polarization that is often fueled by politicians looking for opportunity has resulted in an escalating tide of violence. Much of that violence takes place where society does not see it, but that doesn't make it less harmful. It takes many forms. Toxic social media posts that ignite algorithms, threatening emails, texts, and phone messages, and persistent harassment. Attempted arsons, angry graffiti on walls, smashed windows, and burned offices, and shockingly abusive comments about appearance, gender, religion, and ethnicity, all designed to extract a personal toll. Sadly, all have become part of the everyday public service experience for too many of our colleagues in this chamber, in chambers across the country, and beyond. I want to acknowledge the targeting of the office of the MLA for St. John's on Orange Shirt Day, and the targeting of the MLA for Point Douglas, the first two Indigenous women ever to serve in the Manitoba Cabinet. This is unacceptable, and as a government, we unequivocally reject violence against Indigenous women and all forms of political violence. Increasingly, Honorable Speaker, that violence takes place in broad daylight. And tragically, lives are being taken out of rage and division. And it's being witnessed in real time by millions, then streamed and rewatched by millions more. The recent pages of history are lined with the names of its victims, far too many to recount on an individual basis. But nor should we. We pause and recognize the tragedy that each loss represents. Honorable Speaker, this violence is becoming normalized, and in the process, we're losing our ability to talk to one another, to seek common ground, to compromise, to build our communities together alongside those whose opinions we do not always share. The very reason this institution exists. And as a result, many of our citizens are slowly losing faith in public processes. As we begin the new session, I want to encourage members of this chamber to stand together against all forms of political violence and against the rage farming and division that create it. What brings Manitobans together is a shared set of values and a deep understanding that ultimately we all want the same things: to lead meaningful lives, to raise our families in peace, to build a better world, to build one Manitoba. As has been said many times before by others, Honorable Speaker, the arc of the moral universe is long, and it bends towards justice. But it does not bend on its own. It bends because we pull it in that direction. My call today is to every member of this chamber, to every Manitoban who is listening, to commit themselves to this task. Pull your neighbor closer. Unite rather than divide. The alternative must become unthinkable. I ask now for a moment of silence for all members to stand together against all political violence and its many victims.